But I really wanted to hear more about your thinking, because I asked Grok, how much will this save in terms of the Medicare and Medicaid budget, which will drop whatever we save on that budget. It's going to drop right to the deficit. So Grok thought it might be around 65 billion, and that was based on if the average savings was 35%. So I put that number in. I said, Grok, if it's 35% average savings across the range, and Grok said about 65 billion. I have no idea how right or wrong that is. That's just Grok. So what do you think about that aspect of this deal?
Well, I've been preparing a study of the U.S. healthcare system.
Yes.
For a podcast with my friend Dutch Rojas.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an understatement.
Okay.
Because it has, in pure pharmaceutical costs, that may be a fair statement.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does is have downstream effects in the whole healthcare system. Because once you have, firstly, I don't want to get too deep in this, but this is just the beginning of what is going to happen.
Right.
Because firstly, you have pharmaceutical costs dialed down at the producer level, at the manufacturer level.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've got to look at all the downstream work in terms of these intermediaries.
Right.
That take the pharmaceuticals, package them, and price them to the hospitals and to the docs and to the pharmacies. And that's where the most of the grift takes place. So that grift is a lot more than $65 billion. So yes, I think we can save $65 billion, but I think that's just a down payment in what is to come. And I've convinced, from everything I've heard from Bobby Kennedy and Jay Bhattacharya and, all the other guys from the healthcare world,
right.
I think this today is the down payment.
Okay. All right. So if we're looking at 160 billion that's already been saved by the Doge guys, add another 65 billion, probably minimum in terms of this pharmaceutical drugs. Now you've got money coming in from tariffs that we didn't have coming in before.
Over 100 billion.
Over 100 billion already coming in from tariffs. So you were suggesting that what people might be missing in terms of, this was in the green room before we started, what a lot of people might be missing in the marketplace right now is the impact of all of these things on the budget. Help me out on that, Larry. Talk to me more.
There's no doubt that as we see these, everybody says, oh, the budget deficit is so large. What's 100 billion here? What's 100 billion there? Well, what you do is when you start adding these up and piling them one on top of the other, what you start seeing is a reversal of the trend. Up to now, these governments have said, oh, well, 100 billion, 100 billion, it's not. And then what you get is these $1 trillion deficits.
Right.
So when you start doing the saving, oh, it's only 100 billion, oh, it's only 100, oh, it's only 30. And then what you start seeing is these $1 trillion start really declining. When you run a company, you realize it's not the $10 here and the $100 there and the $300 there, which is so easy to spend. You realize it's every single expenditure that just rolls up into, those deficits.
Right.
And that's how you lose money in business.
Right.
So I am seeing this administration run this country as a business, accumulating these savings one step at a time. And instead of saying, oh, well, we can do that, it's only another couple of billion. Oh, we can do that, it's only another couple of 100 billion. Oh, we can do that. Instead of saying that, they're saying, let's roll up this saving, it's 100 billion. Let's save it this. And it reverses the whole dynamic. And that's what we need. And if we get that, it'll make all the difference in the world.
So it turns out, I think, Larry, to be a cultural shift.
Yes.
Where everybody within government, all the leadership within government understands that the president, and I've seen this my entire life in business, that what the president does, if the president's desk is clean, everybody's desk is clean. If you have the president doing one thing, then everybody else knows I'm going to get a slap on the back, I'm going to get a promotion, I'm going to get the pay raise, I'm going to get the new opportunity if I'm doing what the president wants me to do. And so now you have the military coming in and saying, okay, we're already cutting before Doge ever gets to us. We're already cutting.
Yeah.
So it becomes cultural.
Yep. You know, I keep thinking about Doris Kearns Goodwin, you know, this team of frenemies or team of rivals. Today it's the team of frenemies. But, you know, when you think about it, so many of the members of his cabinet were from the opposite team. You know, I mean, he's put together a most remarkable group, and they are following his lead. I mean, I watched the interaction between Jay Bhattacharya and Bobby Kennedy and what was the guy, the other people on the healthcare team. And I mean, it's like you see the level of mutual respect, but you see the passion of each and every one of them to be on the team side, on the side and to focus on this extraordinarily important moment and the extraordinary, I was a big critic of Trump, as you know. I opposed him in the 2016 election, and
right.
But I have to say that he's done a hell of a job, just a hell of a job, and I am very high on this team, very high.
So I said on my program this morning, Larry, that I have I only make a few. I don't even want to call them recommendations. There's a few times, and you've done it too. We on this program will say, okay, we think gold is going up.
Yeah.
We think bonds are going down. And I said, I've been right almost exactly twice on bonds now. I said when we were at 5%, that was it. It went down. Recently, I said it was a 4.49. I said, that's it. And it went down. Okay, now we're almost back to 4.49 again. I'm saying it's going down. And I think Trump is going to be the one to beat it down. I think that this is going to be maybe this week, maybe next week, that he is going to use the bully pulpit and every other tool at his disposal to beat this thing back into the threes.
Ultimately, the tool that will beat it back into the threes, if it beats back to the threes, which you may be right, is going to be inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Coming down. That's what is going to get it down there. And I think you may be right. I've had a lot of reservations about this president, some of his policies.
Yeah.
I thought mea culpa. I thought this whole deal with the tariffs was going to blow up in his face. I thought it was a bad deal. I think I was wrong. I mean, the evidence is strongly against me.
Strongly coming in good. All right.